It all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. For construction on I-135 northbound. The ramp to Kellogg West is closed for construction. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey, Wichita traffic.
Weather. Mostly sunny skies, a breeze under 10 miles per hour, and much warmer today. High 78, becoming clear and 47 tonight. Even warmer on Thursday and Friday with highs in the low to middle 80s respectively. We're on our way to 90 degrees on Saturday. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
I'm Taylor Bishotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Broncos and Dolphins pulling off a major trade. Denver lands wide receiver Jalen Waddle and a 4th-round pick from Miami in exchange for a 1st, 3rd, and 4th-round draft pick from Denver. Waddle had 3 1,000-yard seasons during his 5 years in Miami. Meanwhile, the Eagles signing wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown to a 1-year deal worth up to $6.5 million. Brown spent the last 2 seasons with the Cardinals. The Texans and guard Wyatt Teller have agreed to terms on a 2-year, $16 million deal. Teller was a 3-time Pro Bowler during his time with the Browns. And the Steelers continue to wait for a decision from quarterback Aaron Rodgers, but one former legend is ready to move on. Hall of Fame safety Darren Woodson told the Rich Eisen show, quote, "The team shouldn't wait for Aaron Rodgers. They need to move forward." This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now, from Wichita's most most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Aloha, Mr. Hyde.
Welcome in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Glad to be here with you. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland, on a Wednesday, a Hawaiian shirt Wednesday. We have some fun stuff coming up on the show today. We'll have legendary host, I believe creator of this show, Bruce Haertl, is going to stop by in the second hour. We've been trying to get Bruce on since his retirement. He's been doing a little traveling. We think we'll be able to connect there. He's out on the West Coast now. So we're planning on trying to make that happen for you in the second hour. Also, Shreyas Laddha is in the air. We're going to try to catch him as he's boarding a plane in the next couple of minutes here. Our KU insider, he had some good stuff on Darren Peterson yesterday and the Jayhawks. So Max, be ready if Shreyas calls. Let us know if we catch him real quick.
I have him right now.
All right, there's Shreyas Laddha. So let's get it. Let's get it here, Shreyas, in this shorter segment. We appreciate you being flexible with this morning. But man, you put that out yesterday, and I'm glad we were able to get it in. Finally, your white whale, you caught it. Your Darren Peterson story. How are you this morning?
I'm good. It's been a crazy few days on this KU beat. It's been a crazy year, really. But you guys know I've been chasing this for 6 months. It kind of all came together in the last week and a half, and I'm very happy it did. But, glad it's out there. I'm sure there's more stories coming from it. Still working on a few, but, I think it does as good of a job as any right now. But what's gone on behind the scenes with Darren and all the stuff that's kind of he's had to go through.
Shreyas, I want to ask you this because this is the one, glaring question that everybody has after you read the info that you shared that, Darren Peterson was hospitalized because of this cramping thing. And that's, the overarching thing of all the reasons why maybe all this was happening, the way that they played the narrative of this and didn't talk about that. Do you think that saying that part out loud would have made a bigger deal about things and maybe turned NBA people away?
I mean, I think, if they had got ahead of this and NBA people said, and even Darren said, back in January or December, this would not have been as big of a deal. This story would not have mattered, honestly, I think the way they went about things is not great. I had a lot of people in the NBA world tell me they had to have a lot of conversations to figure out what was going on. Somebody told me they would have preferred to have a story come out early or have them explain early instead of having to have 50 conversations with their boss about why he is or isn't playing, and that was an NBA scout. But I think the way his camp went about this, and there are definitely some people who wanted him to be more transparent and push for things earlier in the year, was not great. And I think Darren understands it now of all times, but he did say even then, I don't know if it would have really changed anything, which I disagree with. I think a lot would have changed.
So that's what I want to ask you about. 18-year-old kid. I'm not going to blame an 18-year-old for not being a PR expert, but I do want to ask, does it matter? I know it matters to his NBA stock. Does it really matter to the way the season's played out for KU? What could have played out differently had we known?
I don't think the national scrutiny from media who don't really know what they're talking about would have been there as much. I don't think there would be as much pressure on Darren Peterson in Kansas. Stephen A. Smith is probably not saying the things he said. And Stephen A. Smith, I enjoy watching him, but I'm not sure how much Kansas basketball he's watched. I think the takes that people got off about Darren would not have happened as much. And I think it would have been easier to kind of gather sympathy, for him and this Kansas team for the stuff they've gone through. If he had said, hey, this is the stuff I've been dealing with, blah, 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 back in December, I bet you Kansas fans would have been a lot more sympathetic. Maybe there's less pressure for him. And maybe, the trauma and anxiety he's kind of suffered from the cramps is lessened because there isn't scrutiny of public opinion for every little thing he does.
So there's no real difference in the way that things would have happened on the court for KU, but I definitely agree the scrutiny would have been a lot different. Moving to the bigger conversation, the NBA, what do you think now happens? Do you think that I think it obviously would have been different, like you were talking about, if this came out back in September, that NBA people would have had a different understanding through all this stuff. Now that it is out and it's March, Do you know, does that hinder a scout's thinking, you think?
But yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of different people from the NBA world, some who knew me and some who didn't, reached out to me after the story come out of like, I shared this with my team, or I great story or great article or whatever. And I thought the interesting thing was it absolutely has affected the way they look at things. Now they know a little more information than they did before, and a lot of them were not completely in the know. I think the interesting thing is, I still think he probably goes number 2 in this draft at worst, unless he makes a tremendous run in March and then things change. But everyone I kind of talked to, even draft evaluators, had Peterson above AJ, et cetera, now kind of have him firmly at that number 2 spot.
So then for Kansas basketball, if he gets on a run, I think the big takeaway for KU fans would be, or at least it was for me, is that he feels as healthy or healthier than he has all year right now. What can that mean for the tournament?
Well, I think it's tremendous. I think that's the thing you want to hear. But the thing to me is, I don't know if that's lip service or not, because he said he feels healthy, but he's playing, honestly, not a great brand of basketball shooting wise. Like, I think he's doing the other stuff well, but his shooting has been really, really poor in the last 7 games since that Oklahoma State game. I think 36% from the field, 27% from 3. With all that kind of ongoing, as long as you can get back on track shooting wise, I think they can make a decent run in this March. As long as they get into the Sweet 16, I think they have a shot to beat Duke, a shot to beat UConn, because we've seen them beat really good teams this year. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But a healthy Darren Peterson, the one that looks closer to the BYU first half, one that looks closer to the Oklahoma State first half, the one that looked like a few moments of Texas Tech, that's the one Kansas is going to need to make a run that matters in March.
Yeah, way to steal the headlines away from March Madness here, Shreyas. That was very nice of you. Speaking of the draw, let's talk about that for the couple minutes we got here before you hop on a plane. Do you like it? It's going to have to be like St. John's and Duke. KU, I keep saying, KU beat Arizona without Darren Peterson. Can they get through this?
Yeah, I actually really like the draw. Specifically, they had one of the hardest regions, but when you look at how the teams are, they match up well against a lot of these teams. Obviously, Duke is a really tough opponent if they get that far, and I presume Duke will get that far, but they're also banged up. Their starting point guard will be out. We don't know if their starting center will be playing. So Kansas played Duke close without Darren. I think they can be competitive there. Along with that, UConn has been stumbling as of late if they make it that far. And I think Kansas matches up relatively well with UConn. I don't think they have any fear of being upset in the first round. I think the second round, it's kind of a coin flip. They're 2 very similar teams by metrics. They're both defensive-oriented teams who are not great on the offensive end. Obviously, Kansas gets their scoring through guards. St. John's gets their scoring through bigs. So different ways to score. But overall, I'm like pretty intrigued to see how they match up, because if they can get through St. John's, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to beat Duke. And if they beat Duke, they could definitely beat UConn.
Or Michigan State. Shreyas, we all share a brain on that. Glad to hear it. It's a shorter segment. We appreciate you hopping on from the airport. Safe travels out to San Diego. Say hi to our girl, Rachel Holland. We'll look for your reporting all week long. And if anybody missed it, the White Whale story on Darren Peterson for Shreyas is dropped. KC Star right now. You can find it on social and at Kansas Star online. Shreyas, we appreciate it.
Shreyas, make sure you ask Zuby Ejiofor what it was like playing with Joel Embiid when you get out there.
I will. Thanks, guys.
There goes Shreyas Laddha. We are going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll kind of reset things. Shockers get their win last night. Team USA does not. It's a busy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday on Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Glad to be here with you. All right, let's get you set up. Bruce Haertl, should be hopping in the second hour. We appreciate Shreyas Laddha for hopping in there for a couple of minutes before he got on that plane out to San Diego. We will have those World Baseball Classic. Team USA falls to Venezuela. Pretty dramatic, emotional stuff last night. Wichita State gets its first postseason win in a while. We'll discuss it all. It's all what's on tap. Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Delano featuring live music this Sunday at 4 p.m. Send off your Sunday with live tunes, tasty treats, good times at WCBC Delano, your spot for spring Sundays. WichitaBrew.com for more info. Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather. TJ, good stuff there on the Darren Peterson story. Rick says that he could have said all this in the beginning and everyone would have shut up. I will agree that he could have said it all at the beginning. I will disagree that everyone would have shut up. Everyone would not have shut up. You're talking about the number one pick in the NBA draft. It would have been a story. It may have been a different story, but it would have
been people being less of an a-hole to an 18-year-old, basically, is the biggest difference, I think, that would have made a difference. I think that there's something to be said, though, about, like, they didn't say it for a reason. Like, and I think that the consensus that probably was through his camp, and obviously hindsight's 2020, is probably like, guys, we're going to be the number one pick. Let's just figure out a way to get through this, because if we go on the record and say that we just got hospitalized because of cramping, like, you don't think that's going to turn NBA scouts away?
Sure.
And so I think that, and then I think it's just lingered so long that it finally got to the point where it's like, I don't think we can just be coy about this anymore. Like, we need to go say something.
You could have certainly helped the load management nonsense, which Bill Self did the best he could with that. Best he could.
And people complain about the things that Bill Self never lied about it. He never said that part of it, but that's his prerogative to say. You don't need to say that.
It's Peterson's, but again, 18-year-old kid.
But Bill Self saying,
nobody's ever been through being the number one NBA draft prospect. Like, there's not like a book you can go grab and say, okay, I'm the number one draft prospect. I just went to the hospital with cramping. What do I do now? Like,
exactly. Like,
you're trying to react to it.
I agree. And like, that's the thing that, people complained about Bill Self being coy or defending him or anything like that. And it's like, if that's the full story, like, Bill Self, the only thing he said the entire year is, I don't know, guys, like, it's cramping. He's hurt. We're trying to figure it out. And like, it sounds like Darren Peterson, and it's what we've said. Like, Darren Peterson's doing the same thing of saying, like, I don't know what is going on, but I'm trying to make it stop.
Still doesn't. The good news for Jayhawk fans is it appears to have stopped at the right time. We've got the NCAA tournament. Would have loved for it to have been able to stop, I don't know, a month earlier than it did, but here we are now. And that's what I take away as much as anything. The NBA stuff's all interesting to me. I'm not a huge NBA connoisseur anymore. I want to know what he's going to do in college. I want to know what he's going to do in March Madness, right? Can he help Kansas go on some kind of a special run? And excuse me, if he can, then Kansas is going to have a good shot to make some noise in this tournament. If he can't, if he plays like he has the last 2 or 3 games, they're not going to be good enough. I mean, they're not. So it's weird that there's a bunch of good players on this team, but so much of it rides on this one. But that's the reality of it. It is. That's the way it is.
We talk so much about, like, making sure they played enough games to play whole with the team that they had, and they didn't get there, and that didn't happen. And that's in part for losing and to Houston. But it was the semifinals. I don't really know what you guys wanted here, but like, they didn't get the comfortability that they wanted. Comfortability there it is again.
I wonder if you just imagine, because for me it was more about, can he just play all the way through? And now I will tell you that I still don't think he looks 100% healthy.
He doesn't, but he's playing the full games.
But he's playing, so now it's like, okay, we got a month and a half, 7-8 games of him playing all the way through, have no issues. Now can we envision him flipping that switch? Because we know he can stay out on the court, and that's what we didn't see, unfortunately.
My brain now goes to this, is the point that I'm making, is that it went from play as many games as you can in this tournament, get as comfortable as you can for this next month so you can get there. And it never happened. And they're still not in a place where they're comfortable. Now my brain is switching to the other side of the coin where it's like, okay, maybe a week off, playing 2 games in 15 days. Maybe that's what's needed, because as you get into this tournament, you're not where you want to be comfort-wise, but you might have a healthy Darren Peterson, and that might be enough. Like that's what you're hoping for at this point.
I mean, it has to be what you're hoping for. Look,
that's the only way.
I agree with Shreyas. St. John's is a good matchup. If St. John, if you're going to tell me that your team leads with its bigs, what was it, Arizona? The first round against Arizona where they beat them. If you're telling me your team's going to lead with size and athleticism, I'll take my chances.
Listen,
I've got a defensive player of the year down there.
I've got KU in my Final Four for the reason of saying they'll beat Cal Baptist. They can beat St. John's with the way that KU has been playing. And that's your point there. They get to Duke. I think that they're bound for one Darren Peterson. And that's what they're going to get. That's what he's talking about. And if you get past Duke, you can beat UConn. I think that.
Why is everybody penciling in UConn? I think Michigan State's going to beat UConn.
Whoever, yeah.
Look, it doesn't like they're all 5 of the KU could win them all, any of them. They could lose any of them. So could Duke, so could Michigan State, so could UConn, so could St. John's.
We didn't talk much about it yet. Like their draw, like the fact that they don't have to play a Big 12 team is significant.
It's handy.
Like it could be TCU who took them to the wire, but more likely Duke.
I like their draw. I do. I said that Monday. I like their draw. I think if you look up and down, I'd be far more worried against a team like Iowa State or Houston. If you're talking about the Big 12, I'd be more worried about a team. I don't know who else is out there. Obviously, Arizona's its own unique, monster and challenges. Florida, like these teams that can score a little bit scare me for Kansas. These teams that are like Kansas don't scare me as much. Now Duke can score. Duke can score like crazy. But we'll see. The KU's had their shot at them. And then again, it doesn't matter who they play. And this has been true all year, and we've known this. If KU's at its best, it doesn't really matter who they're playing. Right? At that point, you'll take your chances with it. They just haven't been at their best very often late in the season. I mean, how many times have we seen them at their best in the last 2 months?
Arizona and Houston.
2
and a half against Oklahoma State.
14 games, right? Yep. Like it's not much. So we'll see. Go check out Shreyas' story. Shockers win last night, TJ. It was not pretty, but who cares, right?
The first 15 minutes were some of the worst basketball I've seen in Coke Arena in my life.
It was which
bad.
is to be expected.
3 games in 4 days.
Yeah, that'll happen to you. The only thing I'll say to not be glass half full on that is it also was not pretty against South Florida. And so it's like, okay, Shockers, like let's take a minute here. Let's take a breather. Let's catch our breath and get this thing going. Shockers shot 30% in the first half. Wyoming shot 27% in the first half. It got much better in the second half offensively for both teams, but that was bad. I'll tell you what I'll tell you my biggest takeaway out of that game. TJ Williams, man. I think about what he could be capable of, because when I look at Wyoming profiles kind of like an American team, right? When you look at him just physically impose his will onto a game like he did last night, that's what I think you envision as a junior and or senior TJ Williams being capable of in the American.
Yeah.
It's funny. He doesn't look like he can be as physically dominant as he is, but man, he is. And that's been one of the coolest things about this season is to see him take that step.
So in terms of TJ, this is something that goes back to whenever he was in high school. Like you think back, 2 years ago, that team, the best player on that team was Xavier Bell, whose number one thing that he did well was get into the paint and make turnarounds, layups, everything. And he didn't shoot threes. He eventually kind of got there the next year, but he didn't shoot threes at all. And so TJ, the whole time he was in high school, he's a top 150 player in the country, but he didn't shoot threes. And is that fine? And he did in high school a little bit, but not to a level where you're going to do it in collegiate level. And he's gotten to, I bet he's taken single digit threes this year. Like I would be shocked if he's taken more than 10.
I was just about to look.
And that's the one thing is like, what can you really do in college if you can't do that? And like watching him last night is the glimpse of like, this dude looks ginormous on the court playing point guard. And that's what he did in high school. Like he is bigger than every guard in the country, basically. He can get 14 rebounds like he did last night. And I mean, he's an athlete. Like he can, and that's exactly what he did in high school last night at the next level. And, the jump shot's always going to be the issue with TJ, but Wichita State has a history. They rattled off 10 wins in a row last year without making 10 threes ever.
Yeah, TJ Williams looks like a shocker. What do you think the most threes he's taken in a game this year is?
2.
Yeah. Both times he did it, he was 0 for 2. On the season,
has he made 12. A 3 this year?
1 for 12 from 3. 1. He made 1 against Boise State. And it doesn't matter. You're so right. He looks like he did in high school. I remember Cheese Johnson when TJ was, I think, an 8th grader or 7th grader. Cheese was at a Heights game probably, and Cheese was like, "I got a kid for you. I got this kid. He's awesome." And I'm like, "Okay." And I love Cheese, by the way. I talk Cheese quite a bit, and so he tells me that, and then I'm watching TJ's whole high school career. Man, what is it? And then you get him until he was an upperclassman, watching him play in state, and you're just like, he's just kind of everywhere. Like I couldn't tell, you can't really define like what it is.
It was hard to tell in high school too, because when you're the most athletic kid on the court, that could mean you're a good football player. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
he's just everywhere. And then of course, not much as a freshman. And then this year, he looks like he looked in high school. Like you look up and you're like, oh, there's TJ in on the play. And he's a little wild at times and a little out of control at times. But last night, man, you see that hone in. And you're like, oh, man, good luck stopping him when he's feeling that. You kidding me? A guard? I mean, I guess he plays a wing. He's 6'5", rebounding the ball like he rebounded yesterday?
No.
That's insane.
They're going to do interesting stuff with them.
And by the way, they've got 2 of them. That's the way Batiste plays, too.
Basically, yeah. I'm trying to think of like what the comp would be of just a giant guy that can handle the ball and will just try to dunk it every single time he touches it. Like, is it like a Kevin McCullough? Like he kind of played like that a little bit.
That's a good question. How tall was Rashard Kelly? Or,
yeah,
man,
I mean, even you could even say Marcus, couldn't you?
Marcus was like 6'10", though.
That's true. Marcus shot a lot of threes too.
Marcus could shoot. Mark was a really good shooter, actually. Let me think about that. Either way, though, Wichita State gets the win over Wyoming. It was kind of a wacky ending there, and not really knowing what exactly was happening at the end, but they kind of got through it. It was sloppy, but that's okay. Oklahoma State won also, by the way. So did Tulsa.
That close though, David. And both of those games. Did you see that Tulsa game? Matt Breyer was up by like 15 for the entire game and then blew it.
I did not see it. I was watching.
That was a good. So both of them were actually pretty nuts. I was scoreboard watching. And Davidson was up 10 at halftime on Oklahoma State. If that would have pulled out, they would have played in Cook Arena again. And then if Stephen F. Austin could have pulled that out against Tulsa, gotten a win against UNLV, I think it was last night. They won. We could have had Matt Breyer coaching against the Shockers in the Roundhouse. Like, could you imagine what that would have been like? And they probably I couldn't believe that they were unseeded. They won the Southland. They were good. They should have been a March Madness team.
Yeah, they kind of got hosed there. I agree. I don't know who Williams reminds me of. I keep wanting to say Zach Brown and Rashard Kelly, but he's probably a better offensive player than those guys, and maybe not yet as good a defender. But when you just look out there and you say, "Oh, dang, that dude looks like a great athlete," and he's faster and quicker, that's who I think of. But either way, great win for the Shockers. I was hoping that dream scenario of Stephen F. Austin at the Roundhouse could happen, but now it's on to Oklahoma State. There's not a line out on that game Saturday. Is when that game is, by the way. But
is it on Saturday? Right, do we know that?
I believe we know it's on Saturday.
It says Saturday or Sunday, but I imagine it's Saturday.
Okay. The schedule I looked at this morning had it as a Saturday game. To be fair, I didn't look at Sunday. but I think it's a Saturday game. Not 100% sure. We'll find that out. But good for the Shockers for getting the win. The advance, it was not pretty. That's okay. As long as they continue. They'll have to play better to beat Oklahoma State. I don't think there's really anything else to take away from that game other than I'm with you. That first half was not aesthetically pleasing. I'll tell you this, though. 2 games in a row where Kenyon Giles isn't great offensively. Chances of that being 3 games in a row feel pretty low. I like that aspect of it against Oklahoma State. Wyoming, give Wyoming a little credit. They watched their tape on South Florida. How I don't know how closely, like, Giles kind of being a trailer and just standing back has been an interesting thing. I think they're a little bit right now struggling figuring out ways to get him the ball and get him a look. And these defenses
it feels like
started to do something.
It feels like they had that cycle mid-season because you remember, I mean, it was like late non-con, like early conference play when they struggled. Is that Mike Gray was the point guard, and then teams just denied Kenyon Giles the ball. That's how Florida Atlantic won by 20. And then after that, they kind of were just like, okay, we're going to give it to Giles 90 feet away from the basket, and we're just going to see what happens. And then eventually, he drew so much gravity, that's why they started working so well. And so I don't know why they got away from that. I don't know if it's as simple as that. I don't know if it is, what it is. But South Florida did it perfectly, whatever it was, like from night and day from the Tulsa game before them. And then, yeah, I think that there was a little bit of that last night. And then I think that, late first half, second half, he finally got going, and that's the reason they won the game, honestly. And TJ Williams, obviously.
Yeah, TJ Williams. It's good luck, and there's something to that, by the way. If you're gonna dedicate that much attention to Giles without the ball, that means your defense can't lock in to stop the drive of Battie and TJ Williams. So that the Shockers can use that to advantage too. They probably won't. What was the rebounding? What were the rebounding totals last night?
They out-rebounded them by 21.
Crushed them. So they can still do some of the things that they like to do, even if they decide to play that way.
Thought Will Berg snapped his ankle in half at one point last night.
Did.
Then he just ran back out from halftime. Said, okay,
the ovation that Berg got for that is Will Berg is like this emotional roller coaster for fans, and I love it. I love him so much. To bring some of these guys back so bad because now it feels like fans have really fallen in love with this roster. Come on, Shockers! Come on, whoever's in charge, Saul. I don't know who's in charge, but let's get some retention going here because you've got some fan favorites out there, and if you can bring them back, it'll be a fun year next year. But this year's not over. They go on to Oklahoma State. If we get the exact game details of that here in the next little while, we'll tell you. But it'll be sometime this weekend. This March, the madness not just on the court. Of course, the games start Thursday. It's taking over downtown Wichita as well. Join KFH for Hoops for Heroes at the 9th floor club and venue on March 20th. That's Friday. From midday madness buffet lunches to evening madness in the Cloud9 Cigar Lounge, it's the ultimate tournament watch party. Enter the Ultimate Bracket Challenge. 100% of bracket proceeds benefit CanVets United, supporting our local heroes. Get tickets and brackets and learn how you can be a member for a day at 9thfloorwichita.com, 97.5, 1240 KFH. We're coming right back. How devastated are you for Team USA? We'll talk about it next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily on KFH.
Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, everybody, here on Sports Daily. Need a little extra energy there. Got a little man cold here this morning, TJ, or allergies. Is it man cold or allergies this time of year? I was convinced it was man cold, and then we run in stories yesterday on K-Witch that it's just insane allergy last 2-3 days. So maybe that's what it is.
I think it was man cold February. It's allergy March for sure.
See, felt the opposite. I thought that I had allergies in February, and now that I've got a cold. Sure, whatever. It's stupid. It's stupid. I love when the weather gets warmer. I pay the price for about a month. I pay the price.
My countdown is on. It's gotten me a little bit with a couple of sneezes, everything as it's gotten warmer and everything. But as whenever, I mean, what is it? It's gonna be 90 this week. That's gonna kill me. I know it's going to.
Woo. Here we go. It's worth it.
Are you guys ready for me to get on Sports Daily and complain about the heat? Because it's coming.
Oh, come on. You got to wait till at least like, I don't know, July for that. You complaining about 90? At 90, I just want to go stand in it and just soak it in. You remember when I got back from Utah and it was like 68 and I was fried, looked like a tomato? It's going to be bad because I just want to go stand in the sun. Give me the heat. We can't take it for long. It's way too early to be 90 degrees, but a random day or two is not going to hurt us. Could you imagine last year at this time we have March Madness here in Wichita? And the weather was pretty good most of the days. Could you have imagined if it was 90 degrees down there in downtown? It would have been
shirtless.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with them. All right. So thanks to Verified Coffee for keeping us fueled up, helping us power through allergies or man cold or whatever it is. World Baseball Classic last night, TJ. I'm devastated. I love the World Baseball Classic. Now, one of the reasons I love the World Baseball Classic is that I don't know who the favorite is in that tournament. Japan's won it more than anybody else. America's won it once, I believe, in 2017. We go into that tournament. It's one of the rare it's why hockey was so special to win it this year in the Olympics. We go into that, and I don't know that I would call us some prohibitive favorite. I think we probably on paper have a little bit of a pitching advantage, perhaps, but it's not much. Like you look at those lineups, even against Venezuela. I mean, that is a loaded lineup for Venezuela last night. I mean, the only true underdog in this thing was Italy. Everyone else, like whether you take the Dominican, whether you take Japan, whether you take America, you could even take Mexico to a lesser degree, or like Korea. Like this isn't. That's what I love about it is you go into it. It's not like basketball. It's not some foregone conclusion. Like it's a tough spot for America to try to get it done. And they were right there, and they didn't get it done. And I'm devastated. I'm happy for Venezuela. I'm happy for Salvador Perez. Obviously, that country's gone through some stuff, so I'm sure that was pretty emotional for those guys. You could see it. But I love that Team USA leaned all the way into this. I don't know why the World Baseball, I guess it is growing in popularity, but man, I love it. And we need to get these big leaguers in the Olympics.
I agree. It's a lot of fun. And if they can replicate it at the Olympic level, we talked about that, about, what that would look like in terms, it's different rules of eligibility than the World Baseball Classic and everything like that.
Timing of it, that's hard.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to take, whenever it would start, I mean, you'd have to take a week off, 2 weeks off of MLB season, basically.
Yeah, I wonder, I mean, if you can get Major League Baseball on board, you could simply just have a shorter season. You just take like what if you took when are the Olympics typically? June? I don't know. When are the Summer Olympics? Whenever they are.
It's like
sometime in the baseball season. What if instead of that you're having an all-star break, you have an Olympic break?
That's what
and it's a week, and it's a week longer.
Yep.
I think you could do it.
I think so. The hard part to me would be like, because the WBC is already so expedited of like, you're going to play 3 group play games and then you're like immediately in the quarterfinals and then you go from there and they go quick. Like what did they play? 6 games total basically. And that was a championship run. You played 6 games.
Yeah.
I think that's right. And so like, I don't know if that's what the Olympics do. I have no idea. I mean, is Olympic baseball the same way where you go that fast, or is it going to be more of a
pool play and then a tournament? Yeah, you would. You'd probably go. There'd be more teams. You'd have to. You'd probably have to. You'd need a few more days. But the beauty of baseball is you can play it back to back to back to back to back. You just play a bunch of games. You'd have to figure out a way to find enough stadiums to get it done. But you could do. They could play it at college stadiums. Like who cares? And the other good thing about doing the Olympics versus the World Baseball Classic, Rick's doesn't like that, Team USA's pitchers only went like 3 innings, but that's all they can. It's March. Like they're ramping up for their season. They can't do anything else. If you had it in the Olympics, you could in theory get a 5 or 6 inning start because your guys they're tuned up. They're primed up. And so that would help too. But you'd have to get Major League Baseball fully on board with it to make it happen. But my goodness, would we be into it? And then the other thing is it might damper the World Baseball Classic. And I do love the World Baseball Classic. I think it's awesome.
This is so silly. I watched that game last night, and I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but maybe I'm just a casual now. But I look at Team USA last night. Their pitchers that they ran out there, I recognize 3 of the 6 that pitched, and 2 of them are because it's Brad Keller and Gavin Jacks. It's just because I watched him pitch against the Royals all the time. Griffin Jacks, excuse me. I guess I know 2. But Brad Keller, I know because he was a former Royal. Like, I don't know who McLean is. I don't know who Vest is.
Nolan McLean?
Who's he play for? I could not tell you for the life of me.
He's an up and comer. He's an up and comer. Garrett
Whitlock.
Trevor Rogers.
I know Rogers. That's Tyler Rogers, isn't it? I think it's his brother.
Oh, okay.
I know all the hitters. The hitters. That's
well, yeah,
the
the lineup. Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, Jacks, Whitlock, Keller, McLean. I guess if it's Tyler Rogers, I'm not as well versed in him as Trevor.
Which one's the submarine? Because there's brothers. I don't know which one's the submariner. It was a submariner.
The one that's been for the Marlins, who's been a closer in the past, is who I thought it was. Maybe it's.
I think it was the other one that pitched for the Giants.
But either way, like it's not as much about the pitching because again, like you're going to lean into your relievers because your starters, they're not stretched out yet. Like they're still doing that through spring training. They still have 2 more weeks to do that. But you look at those lineups: Acuna, Michael, Royals all over this tournament. All over this tournament. Michael Garcia, Arise, a couple batting championships. Suarez, the guy we hoped might be a Royal. Gleyber Torres, Abreu, Salvi, Churrios, one of the bright young stars in baseball.
Salvi's hitting 8-hole. That's pretty good.
That's Venezuela too. Like I bet you they were the 4th or 5th odds-on favorite to win it.
Yep.
They'd have been behind Dominican America for sure, and probably Japan.
Yeah. So it was USA then Japan. Yeah.
I love that there are that many countries that have great, not good, but great teams to represent in this tournament, like great teams. And I think that makes it more fun. Like USA to me was not a prohibitive favorite to win this. Now they may have been the favorite. I'm not sure. I didn't ever look at that. And I expect them to win it, but the fact that they might not, and it's that close, I think makes the tournament more fun. I think it's super cool. I think it's super cool that you can get a Team Japan where, yeah, there's some big leaguers on there, but that's a whole different league than the major leagues, and they have thrived in that tournament. That's what makes baseball cool in general. When you're getting into one-gamers, anything can happen. That's not the case in basketball. Like anything, like hockey, more rare, but in baseball, one game. Yeah. You have a pitcher get out there and have a bad inning, you might not overcome that.
U.S. lost to Italy. I mean, that's a perfect example.
Well, there were a lot of reasons for that. It's just dumb. But anyway, the last thing from it, I think, was there a big league team as well represented throughout this tournament than Kansas City?
The Royals were the only team that I think is
14
pretty.
Royals.
They
had what
every team in the semifinals had a Royal on it for sure, and I think that it expanded even farther onto the quarterfinals, where like 85% probably had a Royal.
Michael Garcia, 385 in the tournament. Bobby Witt Jr., 250, but making plays all over the place. Salvi didn't do much in the tournament. Salvi's going to be an interesting player to watch this year. We know Vinny Pasquantino and Jack Caglione had nice tournaments. Lorenzen before the meltdown, which he's not a Royal anymore, but representing, I think, the Royals most recently. There was a major Royal flair to that, and I just keep thinking about how many wins Vegas has them at. Was it 86 wins this year? I think is what the number is from Vegas. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to get pretty fired up for baseball season. Kansas City's got a chance to do something really special, and if they get development out of a couple young players, that lineup doesn't quit. And I say that so cautiously because the lineup has betrayed them now for 2 years. But on paper, Like it's all there. You need Cags to just take a little step. He doesn't have to become the Cags he'll ultimately be. Baby steps. I love the World Baseball Classic, and it now got me fired up for real baseball, which starts next week.
It's like in 9
next
days.
week.
I got to get a grip and get the fantasy baseball league up and
It's
going.
next. It's a week from tomorrow, I think.
Yep. I got to get a grip.
If you're a fantasy baseball player, it's coming a little sooner than normal. So get ready for that. But that was a fun. I don't know. I wanted Team USA to win that bad. I thought that was kind of cool for Venezuela though last night. I'm such a fan of Salvi that anytime he does well, I'm happy for it. But another good one in the books. Venezuela, that's their first championship in this thing, so they get one. It continues to deliver for me. I remember when it was a joke, everyone was making fun of the World Baseball Classic. Look at that stadium last night. You think that's a joke? No chance. Like those players, those fans, like that was high energy baseball, and I love it. And
I love I saw somebody post out that of Salvi's resume now of everything. I mean, it's like World Series MVP, had a home run title one of those years, I believe. Just won the WBC, like all the things, like 9-time All-Star, Gold Gloves, Silver Sluggers. And somebody was like, Salvador Perez might be the first player in MLB history that you look at their resume and you're like, that's a Hall of Famer. And then you kind of look at his stats and his WAR and everything like that, and you're like, how did he do all that? But he does.
I mean, his stats have been awesome when you stack him up against catchers.
Yeah, against catchers it is.
He is no doubt a Hall of Famer. He's he'll end up in the conversation as one of the great catchers that have ever played. And it's one of the real scouting wins I think the Royals have ever had. I mean, they were doing it before it was cool when they went and gave him a contract before they ever really saw anything.
Yeah.
He was a little skinny guy doing that, and then to turn into a Hall of Famer and looks like he'll go wire to wire with the Royals. I mean, it's George Brett, it's Salvador Perez. That's it in Royals history, and hopefully it's Bobby Witt Jr. too someday, but they were a long way from that. All right, when we come back, headlines that I missed. Bruce Haertl joins us in the next hour, and we'll start to preview the big NCAA tournament. We had play-in games last night. It's all coming for you on a Wednesday edition of Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Radio 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Aloha, Mr. Hyde.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Can't wait to tell Bruce Haertl about Hawaiian Shirt Wednesdays in the spirit of his buddy Paul Savage, and the things that have gone off the rails since Bruce left the show. But that'll be coming up here in about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll have Bruce Haertl in. Welcome him into retirement and back to Sports Daily. Looking forward to it. We'll get you ready for March Madness. We had some play-in games last night. We got KU getting ready for a game on Friday. We'll get it all in for you here in this hour. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Now featuring the seasonal release Lazy McCafferty, the beer packed with multi-specialty grains that you love in an Irish red ale, but is light enough to put on your kilt and have you sing them from the tabletops all night long. Lazy McCafferty Irish Red Ale, now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. TJ, there's been a lot going on. We might need some headlines that we both missed, but let's do it. What did I miss last night watching baseball?
Sports Daily fans, let's take you to the sports headlines Jacob probably didn't see.
We lost your mic there, TJ. So just in time for the headlines that I missed. We'll get TJ reconnected here in just a second. But there was, the big stories for basketball last night. We mentioned the Shockers. They get their win If you missed it there off the top, we did not get the help from Davidson, so Wichita State will not host a second NIT game last night. It will be in Stillwater this weekend that we have it. We got you back there, TJ?
So we're here.
Okay, let's do it.
I heard you talking about Stillwater. That was a good lead-in because we're talking about the NIT. I talked to you a bit about what happened in the Tulsa Regional last night. Obviously, Stephen F. Austin was up 15. Matt Breyer leading the way. They went into overtime because Tulsa made like a game-tying shot with a second left. It was chaos in Tulsa in the Reynolds Center. Went to overtime. Really good game, honestly. It was the late one. They ended up pulling that out. Davidson nearly got it done at Oklahoma State. What I didn't realize, this is a headline that I kind of missed that I caught later in the day, is that Oklahoma State's 3 best players didn't play in that game because they were suspended.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Anthony
I didn't
Roy,
see that either.
Maybe not the 3 best players, but 3 players, the significant players. Anthony Roy, who I think actually is their best player, VJ Miller, and Isaiah Coleman, didn't play in the NIT game because they didn't meet the standards and expectations of the program. He said after the game that he hasn't decided if they're going to play against Wichita State. He said that he needs to meet the standards, and they're working back towards that right now. When you make a mistake, you have to be held accountable. So, Shocker fans might get full-strength Oklahoma State. You might not.
Such is postseason basketball. That's not the NCAA tournament, I suppose.
I guess.
Look, the Shockers can beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's not bad this year. They're in the NIT. They're a higher seed for a reason. I hope they do play. I want to see the Shockers play them at full strength. At this point, what are we holding back for? Let's go.
All right. More NIT talk here. This is really consuming my mind. I've never delved into the NIT realms as much as I am right now. Keyshawn Murphy of Auburn. We commend Auburn for really going to bat about trying to make the tournament, bubble talk, everything like that, and still saying, you know what, we will play in the NIT because we want to play basketball. That's a good thing that they did. Keyshawn Murphy wanted none of that. Apparently, he just didn't show up to practice on Monday after they didn't make the tournament, didn't show up to the game last night. After the game, Stephen Pearl said, yeah, I guess he's not here. Like, I don't know what happened about that, but we're excited to keep playing basketball, but Keyshawn's not here. Just didn't come anymore. Didn't tell anybody either.
How do you do that? Like, how do you play for a season with a group of people and then just no show them? Like, I get it. But there's not, like, what advantage are you gaining by doing that?
I know the portal isn't open for a month. Like, it's not like, I don't know.
Is he a portal guy? Is he a senior? Like, I don't know what his.
I don't know
who
that
this guy is. I've never heard of him, but whatever, man. Like, be there for your team. That's stupid. Yeah. That's so dumb.
To the secondary tournament, the NCAA tournament, we'll move to that. Somebody made the point. This is just a good post. We're going to read this one to you. Somebody said, none of my friends / group chats have had any March Madness banter yet. The tournament is starting to move towards that Kentucky Derby level where people are excited about the pageantry of the event, but there aren't any stars or storylines. And somebody said, what are you talking about? And they posted a picture of the mock draft board here and said, Cam Boozer plays for a 1 seed. Darren Peterson plays for a 4 seed. AJ Devonsa plays for a 6 seed. Kingston Fleming plays for a 2 seed. Acuff plays for a 4 seed. Wagler plays for a 3 seed. Michael Brown Jr. plays for a 6 seed. Nate Ahmet plays for a 6 seed. Braylon Mullins, 2 seed. LeBaron Philon, 4 seed. Yaxel, 1 seed. Braden Burries, 1 seed. Thomas Hall, 1 seed. Like, the entire lottery outside of like 3 guys is playing in the tournament.
It's that's a bad take. I would say that there's probably going to be more. Like, if you're an NBA junkie that doesn't watch a ton of college basketball, there's going to be more attention.
This is I think this is going to be the most fun tournament in a long time because of the fact that, like, you're going to see just star after star after star in basically every top seeded game.
I fall in love with freshmen. I told you that yesterday, historically in the tournament, but usually it lets you down with the exception of Cooper Flagg last year.
Yeah, I know.
This probably isn't going to be one of those years because all the best players in the country are freshmen.
Everybody, this is what's going to be and this is why I fell out of love with the NBA, is that, like, they have I used to love the NBA draft. And, like, I was like tuned in all 60 picks. And now I'm like, I don't know these guys that are playing for these Lithuanian teams. Like, who are these guys? I have no idea. Like, this is going to be fun. This might get me back into it because for the next 10 years, we're going to get to watch Peterson versus Boozer and Peterson versus Dabonsa and Peterson versus Zakuff and things like that. Like, that might be enough to get me back on board because I'll know who the players are. That's an NIL thing. European players want to come play college basketball before they go now.
We've got to figure out a way to steal the European players, don't we? And put them in college basketball.
That's what's happening.
We're about to talk to Bruce, who's covered the Joker for the last 6-7 years, whatever it is. Could you imagine him playing college basketball? Could you imagine Wimbenyama playing for Gonzaga?
Exactly.
For a year?
As I say, it's got to be a WCC team.
It'd be so good.
Jokic would have played for St. Mary's.
We got
the
NIL
Gales.
now. Like, what are we doing? Let's get these Europeans over.
Honestly, I think it's going to happen. Like, look at Illinois. Like, their team outside of Wagler is all European players. Like, and I don't blame them.
Kid. Yeah, yes. I don't either. I mean, Gonzaga's been doing this for years. They've always had a birth of Europeans, but let's go. Arizona's, that's got some Gonzaga ties to it. Why not? Let's bring over the Europeans. Let's just, I think that you're onto something there.
I agree. World Baseball Classic. I don't know if you saw this one. You probably did see this and were just confused about it. Whenever they kept saying Michael Garcia's name on the broadcast. Did you catch any of this?
No.
They called him Michael the whole time. They called him Michael Garcia.
I mean, I guess I'm used to it.
But it's different than this. It goes deeper. Is that they called him Michael Garcia, and then it went as far as that there was a reporter, I don't know what her name is. She did an interview with Michael and said, "Let's get the record straight here. They're calling you Michael, and people are upset about it. What is your name?" And he's like, "My name is Michael. Like my name is Michael." And everybody's like, "What? Like you've played for the Royals for like 4 years, like, and it's the same thing that's happening with Travis Etienne,
Travis Kelce?
No, different Travis. Etienne, the running back, just went back to New Orleans and said, "Actually, my name is Achan." And everybody's like, "It is? You've played in the league for like 5 years." And Travis Kelce, and it's like, at what point, like, and this was a great point by what's the NFL Network guy, the Good Morning Football guy. What's his name? Help me out here. The morning show.
The old Rome producer.
Yes. What's his name?
Angry Runs. Kyle
Brandt. Yes.
Yeah, Kyle Brandt,
he made the point. He made the point yesterday is that like listen, guys, like I'm not upset at you for doing this now, but like you have every right to do this, but you need to do it whenever somebody says it wrong the first time. Like in college, if you're playing in college football and somebody perfect example, LJ Phillips, the Northwest kid, I interviewed him because he's listed on everything as LJ Phillips Jr. And I was like, "Hey man, we called you LJ Phillips in high school. Like, is your name LJ Phillips Jr.?" He's like, "No, my name is LJ. Like the J is the junior. Like I don't go by junior because my name's LJ." And he's like, and then at one point somebody like said that and I corrected him. And then they're like, "All right, here's LJ Phillips Jr. up the gut." And he's like, "Okay, I guess I'm just going to have to be a junior now. Nobody's going to listen to it." So there's something to be said about like, if your name's Michael Garcia and they called you Michael your whole first week you were in the bigs, like go to Joel Goldberg and say, "Hey man, my name is not Michael, it's Michael."
I guess as somebody with a last name that's been mispronounced my whole life, at some point you just don't care anymore. Like
I
just
agree.
whatever you can call
and that's what a lot of this stuff happens is, and especially like European players will come over and they're like, "Oh, this is
Michael." That could have been corrected. We could have.
I agree.
And here's what'll happen: you've brought this information forth. We're probably still going to call him Michael all year because that's all we've done for the last 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. Now it puts our guy Jake Eisenberg in a real sticky spot. What do you call him all year? Is his name Michael or Michael?
I know. Call him what his name is, but you've done it for so long, and he probably, I don't know if he came up with Eisenberg in Omaha. Did Garcia play in Omaha? But he's probably been doing it even longer than that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Jeez, that's crazy. I would have. Why? How does that even get started?
And now it's just going to make us all mad. Not mad, but like it just grinds the gear in the back of your head because you're so accustomed to calling him that. And it's just like, you want me to just change what I call him now?
It probably started with some white guy being annoying and trying to like overpronounce names of cultures that are not his own. This is Michael Garcia instead of just being like, "Hey, it's Michael Garcia." That's probably where it started.
I think we should get a good middle ground. Let's just go with Mikey. Mikey fits. Yeah, Mike Garcia. Yeah,
Mike.
Remember when?
All right, that's
Mike
probably
Stanton?
what his teammates call him. All right, Bruce Haertl joins us next. Creator of this, whatever you call it, show. We'll have Bruce next. Stick with us.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
is on KFH.
I couldn't believe what I was watching at Winged Foot. Patrick Reed with a hole-in-one.
Did you see the reaction?
Nobody did anything except for
history.
him. I mean, I'd be like, Lord, take me now.
The most excited I've ever been was having a 2 on a par 5, even more than my ace.
You're a jerk. You've got an albatross and a hole-in-one.
Yeah,
is that right?
Both.
You're a real jerk.
Pigeonhole!
The Max Power special there for you, Bruce. Max will tell us, he's like, hey, I got a clip of in whatever, and you just never know what it's going to be. He let us know there. Time for some golf now. Happy retirement, Bruce.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. So glad to know that the searing insight and the concise reporting of Sports Daily and the tradition that was started so many years ago have continued in your guys' very able hands. It's great to be here this morning.
Yeah, we've got Hawaiian Shirt Wednesdays. You can thank Paul Savage for that. I think he and I both randomly showed up in a Hawaiian one day and we're like, you know what? Let's do this every Wednesday. There you go.
Well,
Headlines
I mean, any time that you take your cues from Paul Savage, especially when it comes to fashion, probably a very good idea. Very good idea. Doesn't get any better than that.
How has it been? You've been retired, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
4 weeks?
Well, yeah, I went to Tokyo last week, so I was there for about 8 days. Tokyo and Kyoto. It was just good to hear no one speaking English for 8 days. So that's what we lived with. It was an absolutely great trip. I'm not gonna lie. The pacing of life is totally different, which I guess is the whole idea of being retired. But it takes a minute to kind of figure out the pacing of life a little bit. So I'm still in that stage right now, but very glad that I have that challenge to work on instead of getting ready for the NFL draft and getting ready for rookie mini camp and OTAs and things of that nature. That time has passed, and I'm glad that it has.
Bruce, we have 3 K-Witchers and 3 Sports Dailyers here. I think that I only crossed your path one time. We met at a Chiefs-Broncos game down the stretch there. So let's just put a bow on everything, I guess, if you want to look back on everything, your time in Wichita, everything like that. Just what sticks out to you? I always tell people when I get bored at work, I dig through the archives and I'll go find an old Bruce Haertl story and I'll watch a Final Four recap type of thing.
Okay, TJ. Now, Jacob, you're gonna have to interpret for TJ. I didn't catch most of that.
Yeah, so he just like some of your fondest memories, whether it be here on this show, K-Witch, the Wichita time. What are some of the biggest moments you remember from your long career here?
Well, other than this morning with you two guys, which probably would start us off.
That's right.
I had a conversation with our buddy Paul Sulentrop not too long ago, and we covered this a little bit, and it made me think, because I don't know how you go back 28 years in television, another 10 years or so on radio or whatever it was, whatever the whole thing ended up being. And really be able to pluck a few things here, just because of my association with the baseball program at Wichita State, the national championship in '89, literally within, right at 10 years from the time that Gene established the program basically from scratch. I think that was pretty meaningful, but I don't know how I separate possibly the rise of Kansas State football, the time that I spent in the early years in the Kansas State program, and the about the 12 or 13 years that I worked on their football network, and the day-to-day coverage of that program and the emergence there. But also Final Four runs by Kansas, national championships as recently as the Mario Chalmers shot in San Antonio. It's just kind of one thing after the other. And really, TJ, the thing that made it all possible was the emphasis that the people that brought me in at KWCH and stayed with me for all of those years and allowed us that kind of latitude to coverage things, from the Chiefs to the Royals to the World Series to the College World Series to the NCAA tournament. My God, I was thinking about this the other day. I think I've covered like 26 NCAA tournaments, and there's and it's the whole range that we're talking about there, from the first game in the final, or the first four to the end, to the national championship game. So it would be I would leave something out if we got into it, but those are some of the highlights there.
Take it back to Sports Daily too. I've always been so appreciative of, I don't know, like 12 years ago when I first got here and you needed to fill in and you let me hop on, and I said, Wichita State's better than KU this year, and people were ready to light it on fire. Of course, that was the Battle of Omaha year.
Right.
But that's 12 years. This show was old 12 years ago. When did this thing start, and how did it start?
Well, it was really the brainchild of my wife, Sarah, who we were kind of just chatting one day, like, hey, what would you think about doing something like this, Sports Daily? Because it wasn't really being done regularly or consistently in Wichita, and this was in 2000. In fact, the very first day of Sports Daily was on 9/11/2000. Wow. It was literally the 1-year anniversary on 9/11, the 9/11 that we will know in infamy for the rest of our lives and for history. But yeah, so and then basically it was about finding a partner, which obviously our buddy Tony Dusing and Jackie Wise, who was running KFH at the time. So we found a very good partner in KFH, one that has obviously been a great benefactor for this concept for many, many years. And so here we are now, 26 years later, still doing hits on Sports Daily. So it's something that obviously I'm very proud of, because it's been a lasting legacy, and it's survived my time in Wichita, and I'm very proud of the fact that you guys continue to be the curators and of this. I think it's been a meaningful thing for the city of Wichita.
Bruce, hopefully you can hear me better now. We've spoken before about, you didn't even plan to do the TV and the radio thing. You just came to Wichita to play baseball, and it kind of turned into that. Looking back, could you have ever imagined all the stuff that you got to do whenever you came to Wichita to play baseball those years ago?
All right. Now I've got to get an interpretation again. And TJ, don't get hard on yourself. I'm sure this is me on my end. My ability or lack of ability in terms of technology is absolutely unchallenged. Jacob?
Coming to play baseball in Wichita, Bruce,
yeah.
You didn't plan on any of this. How do you look back at that now? All the places this industry, this career has taken you, when it wasn't really the thing you planned on doing anyway. I'm sure you thought you were going to be a baseball star like we all did in high school.
Well, I learned very quickly that as a baseball player at Wichita State, I was going to make a much better broadcaster. And that is the bottom line. I was very thankful for my time at Wichita State. Very thankful that they put up with me for the time that they did. Yeah, that was the dream, Jacob. There was no question about it. And I don't think that anyone especially at that point, would come to Wichita State without that being the goal. I always got a chuckle out of people that were talking about student athletes as it related to, especially during that time, Wichita State baseball and the prowess of the program. Every kid in that program, every guy that I played with in that program, that was the goal and the aspiration. To play baseball. So, TJ, the thing that was cool with me was that when one door closed, another one opened. And no, I had no aspirations, no practical training. And some would say that that was fairly obvious over the course of 40 years in broadcasting. I mean, I was not set up at all. I was basically got an internship for one summer that I was convalescing an injury and rehabbing an injury. And that kind of turned into something or other at, ironically, KFH, which is where I interned under the great Ken Softly, former voice of the Shockers, way back in the late 70s. So, you learn that life throws you some curveballs, and you've got to be able to stay in there and hit it the other way sometimes. And that's what ended up happening with me, much to my delight, because, baseball may have been an avenue for me for, maybe a couple of years beyond when I stopped playing it, but it wouldn't have been much more than that. Broadcasting ended up being a much more fruitful career, and I'm very thankful for it.
There was a point in time, Bruce Haertl, creator of Sports Daily, into retirement now. I got to tell you, Bruce, retirement scares me to death. For the way you laid it out was the exact reason. Like, what do you do now? You better get those golf clubs out.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
There was a time, and I don't remember whether it was you that said it or somebody relayed the message to me of something you told them. It might have been Michael Schwenke that told me this, that you had said to him at one point. You better not miss K-State football. You better not miss KU basketball. But when Wichita State basketball is on, they're the hottest story in town.
Sure.
When you and I did this show, however many years ago now that's been, the Shockers were in a pretty rough time. This is the first year to me, and I don't know how closely you followed it this year. This is the first year to me that the buzz is kind of getting back to where it was probably a decade ago now. What does that take? What is the thing that puts them over the finish line to recapture what's been lost in the last 10 years?
That's a great question. The game has changed so much in the application of the NIL and things of that nature. So the challenge moving forward, I think, in college basketball, college football, college sports in general, but particularly the two moneymakers, is how can you tell the players without a roster? Look at even at Wichita State, how the players change year in and year out. And there's no real recognition or continuity from one season to the next. So in that regard, comparing it to 10 years ago or 15 years ago is a very difficult comparison, because we knew that Fred Van Vliet and Ron Baker and Evan Wessel and Cleanthony Early and those guys were going to be at Wichita State for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the situation was, if they had taken a red shirt. And you could set your watch to that. Every now and then, one of those players would transfer, okay, but not very regularly. And so you could see what Mark Turgeon before him, and Greg Marshall, after him. And there is no question, as I look back on it, the golden era of Wichita State basketball came into being under and because of Greg Marshall. We can argue all day long about the way things ended, but in the time that he was here, it was the unquestioned golden era of Shocker basketball. And let's not forget, they had been to another Final Four back in the 60s. They had a run to an Elite Eight in the early 80s against LSU down in New Orleans. And it's not like there wasn't plenty of tradition in this program, for goodness sakes. But I think and I applaud Paul Mills for his persistence and the work that he's done, and to see this team win 23 games has been pretty gratifying. And I have paid attention to it from afar, and it's been interesting to watch. It's gratifying. I suppose, on some level. But to get to the level that they were at, it's still a pretty, I don't want to say that it's a far reach, but we were talking about teams at one point that you expected to reach the Sweet 16. You had a team going to the Final Four. You had teams going to Elite Eights. It's a little bit of a different world right now, especially. And look, they got to a point where they were dominating a one-bid league in the Missouri Valley. They're in the American, which, by the way, is a one-bid league. I mean, look,
but they don't have football, Bruce.
Right?
And I just I keep going back to, you pay Greg Marshall top 5 money.
Yep.
Can they get the people reignited that help pay Greg Marshall top 5 money to have a roster that is above and beyond probably everybody but Memphis? Do you think that energy is there from the donors and the boosters?
It was disappointing to see 3,800 in the building last night or whatever.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But they were going 8,000 strong there the last month or so.
I would hope so. Let me just say this, Jacob. Those people exist. They have come to the fore in times previously. I don't know what motivates them to part with money in a world where money is allocated and used differently than when they were donating to the program at a time when they saw tangible results for what their money bought them. I don't know if you see that now. I mean, you have the challenges of paying a player a pretty hefty sum for 1 year and then the player is gone. Now, I think things are going to start tightening up in terms of the roster in the NCAA. They're getting what they deserve. They weren't ahead of this. They didn't take care to organize and to handle this thing. And as a result, we've had something akin to the Wild Wild West. At some point, there's got to be some sanity in college sports. We're not there yet. And so if I'm a donor and I've got someone coming to me, even as someone as reputable as Paul Mills is supposed to be, and I obviously don't have any experience with him, but I understand his history and who he seems to be as a person. Seems to be a very honorable person, a good basketball coach, which is something that Wichita State should be thankful for. But even with that, I'm not sure, how much I'm willing to pony up for a player that I think, is on a 1-year deal and then is looking for the better deal the next year. Doesn't seem to be a great investment.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear you on that. Hopefully, I'm with you that things tighten up. Bruce, before we let you go, we've got about 30 seconds. Who's your national champion in the bracket?
Am I going to go? I mean, I don't know how much faith I have in anyone at this point, right? Michigan has looked the part. Arizona has looked the part. And I think that if I had to push right now, I think I would probably push to Arizona. But Arizona always does this to us, right? They've got the best talent. They've got the best. I mean, right?
Yep.
But I'll go with Arizona because I believe that what the NIL has done, and I think we saw it last year, it gave us a lot of chalk. Stick with the chalk in your brackets.
Okay, let's play golf and drink beer soon, Bruce. Thank you.
I'd love it. See you, boys.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. First time I ever met Bruce Haertl was at Crestview Country Club, covering the Wichita Open, then the Air Cap Classic. That would have been in 2014, my second week on the job. I believe it was, when Bruce was kind of leading our coverage out there from Crestview. I'm pretty sure, and I don't have a good memory for these things, which is why we have this Headlines I Miss segment. But I'm pretty sure that's where we started talking about in introductions, like, yeah, I'd come from doing a radio show in Amarillo, and it was like, oh, really? Well, just so happens I've got one here, and I might need a fill-in host for it. And that's kind of how it all started. So thanks to Crestview Country Club for that.
Jacob, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know
I don't know what was going on there. I'm glad I could just be a hang up and listener there and just listen to some 2017 Sports Daily. So
yeah, that was strange. I'm not sure what that was. A new technical glitch that we're trying to hammer out on this end. But get out to Crestview, play a little golf. Next couple days are going to be beautiful for it. That's for darn sure. And tell them we sent you when you call and ask about a membership today. All right, good catching up with Bruce. Always so good. Man, he's so on about Arizona. It's the reason I'm not picking Arizona. I've picked Arizona. I've been down that road. They've let me down so many times picking them in the tournament that I can't do it this year. I just can't do it. I loved, and I really wanted to. One, we needed to congratulate Bruce on retirement. What a career. But two, I really wanted to get his take on Shocker basketball.
I mean, we could do 2 hours with Bruce on where Shocker basketball is.
Bruce has the correct perspective. Nobody was closer to that program in its heyday. He's calling the games every day on TV, connected to the university, obviously, as a former athlete there. And he is 100% correct and doesn't make any bones, never has, that the golden era of Shocker basketball was not that long ago. It has a great and rich history, but the golden era of Shocker basketball was the Greg Marshall era when it really hit its stride.
So he was removed from K-Wich duties and Wichita State duties when the Greg Marshall and IB thing happened, but he was still on radio, right?
Yeah, Bruce was still on radio doing this show for forever. Yes, he was already in Denver, I think, when the Marshall ending came about. Yes. So, but it doesn't, the ending doesn't change the fact that there's never been more energy and resources, quite frankly, behind the program as right then, like 2000, 13, 14 to probably about 2018. Like that was the sellout streak. That was all of it. Maybe not quite 18, but that was the sellout streak. That was when, they rallied to keep Greg Marshall here and all of those things happening. And of course, you had the players that had been here forever. You had all the years of Ron and Fred and Evan Wessel and Takeo Cotton, and that was a big part of it. And I think that's why I wanted his perspective the most on how do you recapture that? And he's right. You have to have the players commit for a long time. And maybe we're simply too early in the college landscape to recapture it because, yes, you could rally behind a player for 1 year, and then, yes, that player could leave the next year. So he's probably right. Until we get the portal piece of this figured out, maybe it is a year-to-year proposition for Wichita.
The thing is, though, and we talk about how big this year can be, is because they've got a lot of guys that they can bring back. Like you talk about,
for sure.
You talk about how hard the portal is and everything like that. But like, look at the WCC is the perfect, and that's kind of what mid majors look to. Obviously Gonzaga, but I mean St. Mary's, like I think St. Mary's is always the perfect comp to Wichita State basketball. Like it's different university and everything like that, I know, and it's a different conference, but they aren't bigger than Wichita State, and they can retain and compete.
Yeah, they probably have fewer resources too.
Exactly. Like it's possible to retain and grow in the current model. It's harder to do. And if there's a stud at St. Mary's, he's going to leave and go somewhere else.
I don't know. Is it harder? That's what really I don't have a strong opinion on this either way. That's where I really struggle. It's harder for some teams. Should it be harder for Wichita State when you can pour all your resources into basketball without football?
Yep.
That's where I've always thought, and I think Kevin Saul agrees with this, that it should be an advantage for Wichita State in terms of men's basketball if you can get it going. There was a great tweet out, and I have no time to verify this, but it was somebody talking about like total NIL dollars and the seeding of the tournament and how it went. And it basically, the point was to show that there is not a direct correlation in amount of dollars spent and where teams are entering this NCAA tournament. Like, it's not a direct correlation at all. There's a lot of Kentucky, I think, had the biggest NIL payroll according to this person, and they're a 7 seed, right? So there's not a direct correlation. It is about best utilizing money. Now, where there is a correlation is you better be in like a threshold where you're going to have this much to compete and play.
Yeah. He's always Kevin Saul's always said is that you don't have to have the nicest house in the neighborhood, but you have to live on the block. And I think that the biggest thing that, and I've never really thought about it this way, but it's starting to hit, especially this year, is that there's a problem with the current landscape of it. And obviously it makes it harder because, players can leave Wichita State and go make more money somewhere else. And the portals are always readily available that your best players can always leave you. But you know what always helps keeping your players, Jacob, and getting people excited is winning basketball games. And it's the chicken and the egg conversation that we've had for a really long time. I want to throw this hypothetical out, is that I think this year there will be a lot of retention. I think that if Kenyon Giles had more eligibility, it'd be really hard to keep Kenyon Giles because every Power 5 is going to want a guy that can shoot, 45% from 3 and can just do what he does. Like, he blew up on the scene. Somebody was going to go pay for him since he did what he did in the American Conference. Think about this. What if he was a sophomore and did that? Could Wichita State keep him? I don't know if they could. What if Wichita State made the tournament and they won a couple of games and then went to the Sweet 16 and pulled off a Paul Mills run or something like that, like he did at Oral Roberts? How do you think Oral Roberts kept Max Asmus all those years? They won a lot of basketball games. And they didn't have as much money as Texas, where he ended up going to eventually.
And they weren't going to keep him after his best year either.
But what I'm telling you, the thing, if you want to have a chance to keep your guys and retain, if you win basketball games, it's always going to be possible. Look at St. Mary's, look at Gonzaga, look at the mid-majors. They don't have the resources that KU has or Kentucky has, but they win a lot of basketball games and guys want to stay.
Well, look, Kenyon Giles stays because he knows he's in an environment where he can thrive.
But listen, what if he thrived and they won 14 games? He's not staying. He's going up. But if you can win 23, 24 and you can do that, absolutely. Like,
well, to your point, that's why we kept emphasizing it's important that they finish strong. It's important for the fans. It's important. The biggest takeaway to me after the South Florida game was just how evident and clear it was that this team kept wanting to play. That was the case when they made their run, the Marcus McDuffie run in the last NIT. That team wanted so badly to keep playing and win that thing for Marcus McDuffie. I mean, Greg Marshall was behind. Like, they were all, like, everybody was all in. Like, this didn't end the way we wanted it to, but we can make it end better. And I think if you can have some success, if you can do that, if the team enjoys each other, if they enjoy the coach, then it becomes you don't have to be the highest bidder at that point. That's always going to motivate certain people, and I get it. Right? I get it for players that don't have professional prospects out there making the most money while you can in college. I totally understand it. I also understand, as somebody who has not chased a career based on money, that quality of life and how much you enjoy the time you are somewhere also matters a great deal. And so different people are motivated by different things. Sometimes you can't stop it. Sometimes you can say, you know what? We think this is a great opportunity here where you're enjoying things, where if you're Kenyon Giles, for the example, where we're totally comfortable with you getting 16, 17 shots a game. In fact, we want you to, right? Like, I think that stuff matters. And that's why the success at the end of the season was so critical, and why we hope now, regardless of what they do in this NIT tournament, we hope that they can parlay that into retention. That's what we've been talking about forever. I don't know what they're going to go find on the open market. They'll find something. I'm far more concerned that they keep their bigs, that they keep Battie and Williams, that maybe they can keep Michael Gray. Maybe they can keep some of these young players we haven't even had a chance to see yet that we know they really like. Those are the things where Wichita State should have a clear advantage over the rest of the American outside of Memphis. Clear advantage. The rest of that league's getting poached all the time because they're
I
not
agree.
putting 8,000 people in the stands.
I agree.
Not even close.
I guarantee, obviously South Florida had a fun year. Their coach might leave. We haven't even talked about that. It sounds
Probably
like
not
he
after
might
1 year, but we should start talking about it because he is good at what he does.
He apparently, according to Jeff Goodman, he turned down Syracuse yesterday.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I don't know, but outside of maybe South Florida, is there a team in the conference that enjoyed their time at a school more than Wichita State players have this year? There couldn't.
I doubt it. I doubt
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
And that will be the case every year.
And that's why there is optimism here, is the fact that I get it, the portal's there and guys can leave, but if you just get one of those years, and it's we've talked about this and it's hilarious, the parallels, different times with parallels, 2011, the Shockers hosting the NIT, they go win the whole thing. 2 years later, they're in the tournament and then they're making Final Four runs and everything, and it just kicks off like that. And all it took was, think about year one of Greg. There's excitement because what Turgeon did and everything like that, but it wasn't, it wasn't what it was, or it wasn't what it was going to be. And then you win an NIT, you go do that, and then it's oh, there's a lot of excitement. And then it gets to this, and then you got 10,000 people in there, and it's such a chicken and an egg. And we say that so much, but if you win basketball games, Wichita will get excited, and the more Wichita gets excited, the more you're going to win basketball games.
It's probably naive of us to downplay how much the rug was pulled out from underneath the program. You went from, and a lot of it's timing, a lot of it is the situation and the way things ended with Greg Marshall, but you went from peak 2017 joining the American that was loaded, had Houston and UConn and was at Cincinnati and was this incredible league that you profile with. And then that league falls apart. And then you have to move on from your coach. And then everything just unravels and unravels and unravels. It's going to take a little time. I use Memphis all the time as an example. Maybe the better example, if you asked Shocker fans who their biggest rival is, I think they would still tell you Creighton. And Creighton has thrived outside of this year. Creighton has thrived. That's a similar. I know it's private or whatever, but it's Omaha, right? It's profile. It's an urban university. It's out there. It's out there. And I'm glad the Shockers won last night and will keep playing. All right, we'll come back. We got more Sports Daily. Don't go away.